Hello and welcome to another edition of Footballer Adda. We have come to the business end of this World Cup and we are sitting after all the quarterfinals have been finished. There are a whole lot of talking points from them, and to discuss them with me, we have Shomajit. Hi, Shomajit. Welcome to this edition. That actually takes us to our next topic. Um, while this is the best World Cup for goals, is it the worst World Cup for controversies?
See, World Cups earlier also we have had controversial World Cups. So I wouldn't say that this is the most controversial World Cup ever. But see, what this World Cup has done is, and I would congratulate Mr. Infantino for this achievement. It has actually taken football back by 2, 3 decades, 3 or 4 decades. So the kind of controversies we are seeing here, political influence, uh, uh, that match between Algeria and Austria. So that is something that was also a controversy, right? I mean, after the match, Iran people were saying that they didn't go for the win. Some even were saying that the last two goals, the goal and the equalizer, which happened in the dying minutes, that was also kind of agreed between the teams. We are getting clippings that after the goal, the Austrian player, I think Arnautovic, gestures at the Algerian bench, like what has happened. And then the Algerian guy said, okay, something like that. I mean, these are all conspiracy theories, but the point is, why is it happening? Because Infantino has taken us back 3 decades, 4 decades. So the same thing happened in that infamous match at Guion, right? We all remember 1982. It was after that FIFA introduced that the last group matches will be played simultaneously. In between 40 years passed, this was eradicated. Now, with this increased number of groups and there's this third place team going through, we have again come back to that kind of a controversy. Then again, political interference. So political interference, we will say that it was there in the 1930s. It was there. It was there in 1978 when the World Cup happened in Argentina. Recently, it was not there, but this time again we are talking about political interference, which is something we at least haven't discussed, right? Our age group, the World Cups that we have seen, maybe from 86 or 90, we haven't actually discussed these things. But we are going back to an era that we had that FIFA had actually long left behind. That is really unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just to be, honest about things, we haven't had a whole lot of red cards. So 2006, for example, which had that match versus Portugal versus Netherlands, I think.
Yeah.
There were 28 red cards, including the famous Zidane headbutt in the final. 2002 had South Korea reaching that semi-final. There was a lot of scandal in the matches that South Korea played. 1978, you mentioned, was played under the junta. There was a suspicious 6-0 that Argentina had. I'm not going beyond that. 82, of course, Batiston's kick that we all remember. So they were on the ground things, but this time what is happening is with the governance part.
Right.
So it is basically not that I mean you can say football has survived worse, but that has been on the pitch. Like for example, the Netherlands versus Portugal match, it was on the pitch. But what is genuinely unprecedented in 2026 is the off the pitch nature. Like
Right.
the president of the country can call up the FIFA uh, president and say that, hey, I want that player to play. These kind
True.
of controversies, governance errors is unprecedented. We have never come across these things in our lifetime. Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind that this is probably the
Ultimately,
worst.
that's the thing. You will never have a World Cup which is totally, or any tournament. Forget about World Cup. Even over the course of a football season, you have controversies. But those are things like whether that player should have been red carded or not, whether that goal should have stood or
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
These kind of things. But
yeah.
why was it that it has taken us back 40 years? So we are seeing things that we have never seen,
Yeah.
at least our generation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see anybody can come and say in a way that, this World Cup has been clean at any level. Uh, on the governance side, on the refereeing side, I don't think there has been anything. And on that, there is a very important subtext that we need to discuss. And I say this with all honesty. There are a lot of my friends who are Albi Celeste fans. Um, do you honestly see the refereeing in matches involving Argentina being slightly different than those that have happened across other teams? And I before you answer, I will just show you. I'll just tell you about um, one chart that came up, which is the VAR intervention rate per 100 fouls. Okay. So VAR intervention that has happened for every 100 foul that has been committed. Okay. Um, Against Argentina, that number is 0.0, which means against Argentina, there has been no VAR intervention yet. Okay. In favor of Argentina, it is 6.7. Okay, so per 100 fouls, the number of VAR. Obviously, there has not been 100 fouls exactly, but they have taken the percentage rate. So net, if you do, Argentina is at plus 6.7. Okay, I'm just giving you the other quarter finalist because we are here for the semi-finals, but this is like a pre-quarter finalist only. So this is before the Embolo red card. Spain is number two. Spain has had 1.7 VAR intervention against them per 100 fouls and 4.3 in favor of them. So that means the net is plus 2.6. Argentina, remember, is plus 6.7. Spain at number two is 2.6. France is number three. France has 1.5 VAR intervention against them and 3.2 VAR in favor of them. So there is at 1.7. Fourth is Belgium, which is 1.9 against and 3.2 in favor. So their overall is plus 1.3. And these are the only four teams which are actually in the positive on the net.
Positive.
The lowest one there is actually England. England has had VAR against them per 100 fouls 3.5 times and in favor of them 2.0 times. So they are at a minus 1.5. So if I add the teams which are in positive, Spain 2.6 plus France 1.7, 4.3 plus Belgium 1.3, that is 5.6, and Argentina alone is at 6.7. What do you have to say to that?
So see, I mean, these numbers are something that I hadn't looked at this chart before, so I'm
No,
not
I'm
completely
giving you some numbers because other things are I mean, are
objective.
always perspective. Like you can say that that foul that was given for that Egyptian second goal, which should have stood, is always a 50-50. That could have been given, not that.
I got it. No, what I'm saying is that
But
behind these
these are
numbers,
numbers.
I
These are
cannot.
raw numbers. You cannot ignore
Yeah,
raw numbers.
right. No, see, I don't believe there is a wide conspiracy to favor a certain team because that will require a lot of parties to get involved, right? That will require something of the scale of Calciopoli or something. So I don't think that is happening. I mean, maybe 5 years down the line we will know, but at least I think for that to happen, so many parties need to be involved. It has to be a very well organized operation. It cannot be just Gianni Infantino telling the referees that hey, you favored this team. It cannot happen that way because if it happens that way, there will definitely be some leak. Somebody will be telling something to the media. I don't think that is the case. But I think what is definitely there is there is a uh, I mean, and I don't think this is something that we are seeing for the first time. Earlier, also, not just World Cups. There is a thing called subconscious bias. So I think that is probably acting a little bit here, and that has got to do with Messi. for me, because Messi and Argentina have become kind of larger than football over the last few years. And again, Messi's last tournament, and also I think there may be a little bit of a subconscious bias, like the numbers that you pointed out. But again, we have to again for me, I have to look at the actual number. I mean, just the raw numbers again don't mean everything to me. I have to look at the actual incidents behind those individual teams, and then decide whether the raw numbers actually do justice to the incidents or not. It could well be that Argentina didn't have a lot of calls, but I'm saying that I have to look at that further. But I definitely think that problem of subconscious bias is there. It's not just in this tournament, and it always happens that when a team or an individual, their story becomes larger than life, that tends to influence things a little.
Yeah, the point I mean, nobody doubts the fact that Argentina won all the matches and they were over the period of the entire match, they were the better team. Nobody doubts that. Okay. There is obviously a banter where you say that they faced easier teams, but at this stage,
So
this
that
level,
is that the
it's a
easier
knockout
team.
match. So it's a knockout match, and you can only win the against the people that you are playing
Correct,
with.
correct. And
There is
the
nothing.
draw was not like that, because Argentina is facing
No,
easier
no.
teams because
There,
Portugal
there could have been
couldn't
there,
win there.
there could have been something in the draw, but I'm not saying so. So the highest ranked team that they could have faced was Uruguay. Then
Portugal,
not Portugal. Portugal would have come in the pre-quarters. So Uruguay and then Egypt and then Portugal. So not a very competitive kind of a thing. But anyway, I'm not talking about those the draw per se, because you can only beat the teams which comes against you. And Cape Verde showed that match that there were no pushovers. Their two
showed
goals
them.
were wonderful. But the thing is that what I feel is that I feel that even though there is what you talk about a subconscious bias, but I say that there is we are taught to identify these things, that there are certain sometimes that there is a pattern. Okay, so whether the bias is subconscious or not, but the bias exists. There is a pattern. The pattern is that Messi studs into Monde's calf, draws nothing, but Balogun's near identical contact draws a VAR review and then a red. I mean, if somebody else had also been, given the similar treatment, we would have said, look, error happened twice or thrice. I mean, so Messi not getting that was an error. This happened twice or thrice, but then, but this never happened, right? Um, Star treatment has been always there, but did Zidane avoid a red card for a headbutt?
That was too blatant. I mean, that
I'm
wouldn't
just
have
saying.
been.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, in 2006, they could have always said, "Oh, this is a yellow card,"
No, no,
something like
I
that.
mean,
I'm just saying.
see, some
People
decisions are subjective. Now that red card,
again,
that but was not
again,
subjective.
it is subject. I'm absolutely. It is subjective, but sometimes players have missed World Cup finals. We know that, right? Players have missed World Cup finals because they have been given two yellow cards in
Hmm.
consecutive matches. And nobody has come back and said that, okay, take it back. The way that in which the decisions have happened in every match against Argentina has actually hurt Argentina a lot in the terms of the perspective of the neutrals. It is not that they have not played well. Maybe they have not played as well as their fans want their team to perform. Okay. They have not dominated. They played Jordan, they played Algeria, they played Austria. All three teams were, third tier teams, and they didn't really come out like blazing, all guns blazing, right? They didn't come out all guns blazing against two European, African teams, which is basically Egypt and Cape Verde. Switzerland is a second tier European team at best, right? Or maybe even third tier. So So Argentina has not dominated any one of these matches.
Yeah.
I feel that uh, the fact that they have not dominated these matches, coupled with the all the episodes, the refereeing
Mhm.
episodes, where the 50-50 call has always gone against them. Sorry, in favor of them. So whenever there has been a 50-50 call, it has gone in favor of Argentina. Sometimes even a 0-100 call, like the Bril Embrolo yellow card, which was a 0-100, was never in scope, but it went in Argentina's favor. So this, plus the fact that they have managed to scrape through against very poor teams at the last minute, has given rise to the huge narrative. And you cannot ignore that narrative. You have to face that narrative. So if Argentina are able to successfully defend their title, which only Brazil has done so far. I don't know how history will see it, but there will be huge number of exclamation marks to that. For the sake of their own fans, I believe either Argentina has to sweep the two teams that they come up against in semi-final or final, or bow out with their remaining prestige intact. It's a proud footballing nation, but right now they are losing the neutral fans. That's what I feel.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that has happened because people who don't follow football a lot, um, they have also personally asked me that what is happening with Argentina. Uh, so yeah, but again, I mean, if you look at it from an Argentina fans perspective, there would be like unless there is a controversy or there is a conspiracy where Argentine Federation has joined hands with FIFA to
that
uh,
that that
uh,
is that is
then they will say there is a then if that is not there, what can Argentina do? I mean, we are not forcing the referees
no,
to
no. It is
take any
it is
decisions.
nothing. It is nothing for Argentinian Federation to do. It is nothing for anybody else to do. FIFA. I think there has to be two things here. FIFA has to come out after each match to explain the controversial refereeing decisions. That is first. So that will ease out a lot of the Argentine angst that they have been favored or not favored. There has to be a clear, distinctive line, because some referee in Italy is saying that this should be a foul. Some referee in Germany is
There
saying
is a
this should
problem. So
not be
that
a
is what
foul.
exactly. So there is no guidelines. So even the referees who are sitting in the studios, I mean, forget about those who are having to make a decision in real time, right, or even close to real time in VAR, just in 1 or 2 minutes. People who are sitting in studios, former referees, experienced referees, who have watched maybe multiple angles, they are also not able to agree. So that means it's a problem with the guidelines.